Okay. So with your permission, this interview will be recorded.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which enable effective monitoring. So do you have your consent on your phone?
Yeah.
So I will close the door if you don't mind. Okay, so this interview is supposed to assess your abilities and your potential for your academic potential. So just please give me your details to be sure that I've got the right person in front of me.
Okay. You have my name?
Yeah.
Chanel. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about yourself, Chanel.
I am 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Croydon, in Selsdon. I'm independent. I live by myself. Let me see about myself. I've been in this college for, I think, 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing healthcare. This is my last year. I finish in June. And I'm aspiring to be a nurse.
Okay. What skills, quality, experience knowledge do you have that which could enhance your application?
I am a very caring person, and that'll be part of my skills I have. I'm very caring, and going into the nursing is the best way I can help out the community and be a good citizen. And I have been. I have my dad. He's had a stroke and he's been ill for a while, so it's kind of given me time to care for him and see how he's doing, and that may help me in what I'll be doing for my career. And I've been going for work experience in a number of places. Firstly, I went to a nursery, whereby it was my first time to see the kind of things I might be doing, not necessarily treating people, but working with people. And there I had exercise patience because they're children and they want what they want at the exact time. So I exercised patience, and I was very interactive with everybody, with the staff, with the children, and it helped me broaden my confidence in a way, because I was working with children, so I have to show them that I'm confident in a way to help them. And I had very good reviews. And then later on that year, I went to Surrey Hospital, but the children's nursery, and there I did the same thing. That how do I say this? I got the experience I had from a previous experience. I used it on this one because it was the same. It was the same department because it was nursery. Mm-hmm. And then this year I changed because I was doing nursery, so I changed to do something different. So I went to a care home, and I think I found it more interesting because it was older people, and then I kind of had to interact with them and give them what they wanted and be very vigilant, because if they called me, I'd be there, and I wanted to be reliable. Mm-hmm. And and that I've got very, very, very much experience, and I really loved it a lot because I kind of had to learn from them, and they were very welcoming, and I helped as much as possible. And there I could do some paperwork with their manager, had to do schedules for the day of what they're going to do, and we took them out to the supermarket and helped them cash in what they wanted and took them to the aisles where they wanted to go, and so that's the kind of experience I've had.
Yeah, so it sounds like you've got a lot of experience. How do you cope with stress?
I personally, how I cope with stress is that I make sure I don't get stressed out a lot, because then I always think that people are worse than me. But how I cope with it is that I either speak to somebody who's very close to me just so I can get it out there, and they help me out. Or if I'm doing it by myself, I always maybe listen to some inspirational music or something's going to inspire me to get back up there.
Okay, and how do you cope with the sight of blood?
The sight, I have no problem with blood.
No?
No.
What do you expect to be doing in 5 years' time?
In 5 years' time, I expect to be a registered nurse, and really my career will be at the top, and I'll be working very effortlessly.
Okay. There is an NHS Foundation Trust, and it has recently placed individuals experiencing a period of mental distress with volunteer host families instead of admitting them to an acute psychiatric ward. So the scheme is believed to be the first in UK to enable mentally unwell people to remain in the community and participate in ordinary domestic life. So it is closely monitored to ensure safety and success. The trust is settled on replacing scheme in Lille, France. It is a particularly important aspect of the scheme involves closely matching the service user with the host family. Okay. So I'd like you to, do you think that placing adults with mental distress with families to avoid hospital is a good thing to do? And what kind of recommendation could you make to match the service user with the host family?
I'll just first answer the first question. I'm not really, I think it will depend on the patient, because I'll give you an example. Like, for example, I would learn mostly from a teacher than from somebody else, should I say. So, for example, some people may prefer staying with a family, like a family, or just prefer going to hospital, because not everybody likes the same thing. So I think it will depend, and it also depends on how acute this mental disability is, because then if it harms them and also harms the family they're going to, then it's best to put them in a more secure place. Yeah.
And for the second part of the question, what kind of recommendation could you make to match the service user with the host family?
I think the service provider will have to have an understanding and patience as well, because these are, and expect anything because these are mentally ill people, and it's not that they're not people, they're normal people, but they have, for example, if the mental disorder is like a bipolar, then sometimes they're going to be really happy and sometimes they're going to be sad. So the volunteer has to understand that the kind of situation the patient is in, so that they can expect when the person gets angry, they have to expect he's gonna be angry at one stage, and if they're happy, gonna be happy at one stage. So I think what they should do is make sure they teach the volunteer who's going to have this person, make them know that they can expect anything, and they should be comfortable, and they should be also willing to have the person, because that's how the only way the person is going to improve their health. Because I think the reason why they want to take these patients into our family home, so they could still be in the society, right, instead of the hospital. So then the volunteer has to also, because then you could give me somebody and I'll treat them the exact way they'll be put in hospital. So I'm saying without the love, and it's all medical and it's all secluded kind of thing. So the volunteer may act the same way as the hospital, but that's not what the patient needs. The patient needs that love and that going out and feeling free, and basically.
Okay, thank you for that.